Peace, peace, greetings, greetings. This is gonna be an interesting one. Giving honor to Source, Big Mama, the Great Divine Mother, the Most High. Giving honor to ancestors, known and unknown. These videos created, for the purposes, for the good of all, and to the harm of none. This is going to be very interesting. Let me put my socks on because this weather has gotten very interesting. So, I've just been recently getting a lot of clarity today. One more. Let me get something so I can sit comfortably for y'all ass. Okay. First off, I'll just breathe in. How could I, just speak to me, mama? How could I say this? What makes this journey so unique for all of us is that we're on a mission. What is the goal? What is your purpose? Why are you here? Who are you before your mother, your father, anyone told you who to be? I feel the purpose of this grand awakening and awareness to whatever we want to call this has a lot to do with reconnecting with something that's greater than all of us. So I was getting clarity, and I've been just noticing patterns. One thing about growth, I know I lick my lips a lot, y'all. Let me put some shit on my lips. But as you elevate in this experience, we all came here to do something great. Having knowledge of self and having knowledge of what you're here to do has everything to do with the awareness on what your purpose is. How are you contributing to the solution? That's going to be the topic, solution. I've noticed in the communities or places, environments that I've grown up, people per se that looks like me. And I'm not going to make this about color. And it's so interesting that these crayons are here. It's so interesting that these are here because what truly makes this box or these colors what you see? And it's almost like a puzzle piece to everything, this divine scheme of things. I've been noticing a patterning, especially when it comes to releasing these old narratives, breaking these generational curses, releasing these entities and detrimental, self-sabotaging behaviors, patterns, cycles, loops, or whatever you want to call it. And for those of you that, when I'm speaking about, if you're not familiar about this, is that look into our communities, look into the places where you see the pain recycling. And when I say this is that I've been noticing how the mother, the melanated woman, the dark woman, has been affected so much through all of this. So a lot of us are being called in position. Though we have experienced tremendous pain, I can now see the awareness of the gain, and it only is going to come through a very few. For instance, the reason why this spiritual journey or this ascension journey can be very challenging is because it will push you to face the very things, people, in an environment that once had so much of an illusion of control and or consumed you at one point. And now that the tables are turning, I'm now realizing how Source, the Creator, as you could be an enemy to some, how the enemy can be used in the sense of how for your elevation as well as theirs. So it allows us to see the bigger picture. You know, the healing journey, for one, is not as pretty as what the world, what social media can perceive it as. But once on this journey, you will easily see the unhealed versions of other people. You will easily see how our mothers, especially due to the removal of the father, due to the removal of that masculine presence, mentally and physically. And now I'm able to see as a reflection of a woman, but being portrayed in a masculine form, now seeing how the feminine and masculine plays its role within and outwardly. So I've learned now to have more, let me get this out, let me say this. For our people, well, I'm gonna speak for me, because it's not just some, well, yeah, I'm gonna say it that way. Because truthfully, it's like, if you look at psychologically how much our people or a people have been consumed by a life that's been manipulated through money, through material gain, rather than being secure within themselves. And we know this shit like to be, and let's be real here, in the families. Like, you know that growing up, having what they perceive the best shoes or clothing or whatever it is to the world makes it seem like everything's great and happy. I use myself for example. Growing up, I may have went to school with a pair of Jordans, but deep down inside I was fucked up as a child. And it wasn't that I was messed up due to me wanting to. Yes, it is. A grandmother. Due to the fact of me as a child wanting to be innocent and feel love. Consciously, I knew that it was something that wasn't okay. Shit, when I was in elementary school, I was surrounded by physical abuse growing up in the homes. I was surrounded by drug addicts at the early age. Childhood friend who somehow played with a gun and shot himself and hit by a car, you know, this was just in elementary, what we call, you know, just so much happening at these ages. So a lot of us are bombarded with a lot of things. Here is what we call Earth or Kai. A lot of stuff we're faced with so young. And I do feel like that's a part of, it could seem like a curse, but in the sense of a gift. Because still by being here, I'm able to reflect on those things and see how there was something protecting me. Shit, I was introduced to Ouija boards. This is the thing that people don't like. Ain't no more demonizing. There's no more hiding this shit. Like, for real. A lot of us were introduced to spiritual. We were going through spiritual warfare since birth. Not to mention previously, our ancestors and those that came before us were experiencing a spiritual warfare, generational curses, generational trauma, past. And so it can be very challenging for those who are on the healing journey and coming into your awareness of how much of an illusion and delusional our people or a people can be. And again, doing your best to break those generational cycles of learning to love yourself, honoring the truth, standing in that truth, standing in that power, learning the importance of, the cosmic energies, learning the importance of how important for a man it is to honor and respect the femininity and, within himself being reflected outwardly. For a man such as myself, finally trying to grasp that healthy way of receiving love, being receptive, emitting that love, honoring that. And then now being around the presence of my grandmother, going to the root, being that she's the elder, being that learning the behavior patterns that came from and through the mother that I came through that co-created with me. And now as men, as people, we are starting to realize and like the essence, the origins of the melanated dark woman, seeing how we as the sons, the fathers, the grandfathers, seeing from a lens, now learning to see from a lens of in a divine way, in a beautiful way, learning so much of how the pain, how our people are, you can see how it's easily for them to be consumed by the pain and trauma. And so when this is broadcast on social medias, it's so easy for them to be consumed or it triggering or reminding them how emotionally attached they can be through sharing these things, not realizing how much it's like food to the mind, to the essence, to the being of who we are. And so seeing how we're becoming more aware of this now, and as men, as fathers, how consciously now, how vital it is to raise our daughters when we have to realize there was no fathers in the homes of most of these women to raise them in a conscious, healthy, holistic way. So we can find ourselves now realizing that when we speak our truth, standing our truth, honoring the fact that I myself am not here to rely on and to be deceived, and no longer will be manipulated through the bullshit with how money is orchestrated, or how it's been used, or how certain currencies, or how the emotional attachment to the idea of what money really is and how it's used per se, or how it has been used to for people to like sell themselves out in a way, or to be easily consumed because their attachment is more per se to the survival aspect rather than seeing the importance of the spiritual currency or the inner guidance, or the inner connection to who we truly are and where we're going. So this journey, man, is so interesting because, again, a leader is going to lead you to self. And this is, you know, for one, I don't ever want anyone to put me in a place where I look, I'm gonna make it simple. I'm a vessel. You block me, you block the message. The message isn't for everyone. I stand firmly in truth and love. So it's gonna be uncomfortable. It's gonna be very painful when you speak your truth, when you're honest. And I know the power that I have and what's given to me. And it's not so much an I, it's we. And we being me being a continuance of my ancestors, me being a continuance of breaking those narratives or illusions of keeping this loop, no longer keeping this loop or this cycle going of being under this spell of like racism, or, you know, just anything that keeps people from honoring their true path, and that path of love and honesty, you know, high vibrational things. And so again, me learning to see what I experienced with the mother, and I speak about my mom because our men need to know the importance of healing. Heal your relationship with your mother, or whomever was a mother figure to you. Same with women. You know, heal that relationship with your father. Have those uncomfortable conversations. A lot of people think shit is gonna come off so sweet and so, no, I've had confrontations. I've had things with people that, again, it may didn't come out both ways, you know, but this shit it's about accountability, man. Because again, sit back and observe to see how people are so easily consumed, if it's concerning money or if it's concerning things that keep them in survival, rather than taking accountability for their own actions, for the reality that they created. It's very fucking challenging, bro. It's very challenging, but it's so worth it, because it's gonna be worth it. Because I realize a lot of my ancestors, or certain people, if they didn't stand in their power and knew that coming with that, they knew that eventually, which is gonna happen to us all, is death, a physical death. And this is about legacy, yo. A lot of us, or some of us that have children or will have kids, these moments are changing. And what are you willing to stand for in the midst of chaos, in the midst of confusion? Are you willing to stand in your truth? Are you willing to be honest with those family, friends, or whomever it is? Are you ready to part ways? Because there is a great divide. And the divide is love or fear. And that's one thing I observed and I've learned, that love is going to be the guide in this shit, not fear. Because notice when there is panic, when you see in movies or you see something panicking, or people bring on this more suffering, or they bring on more chaos to themselves in that midst of fear. But I feel like what I know is the knowingness is being in that love. It's like a calm, like you're in the midst of the storm, but you're calm, you're cool. Not to say it's comfortable, but you're comfortable in the uncomfortable. But at the same time, you're prepared, you're secure, and you're knowing whatever happens, it's going to happen. But I know that I'm going to be taken care of. How many people are at that sense of peace, or at that place where they are secure within themselves, no matter what happened? And this is the bullshit we act like we don't pretend to see every day. When we don't look into these communities or to these places. And now we're seeing people choose sides. And it's going to be from a place of fear or love. And I'm seeing it. I'm seeing people for the last time. I'm aware of that. Certain people you're going to see, you're going to know and resonate with. There's going to be no hesitation. When I know that whatever I'm prepared to do, I know those are in alignment with that, are going to be guided along with me. I'm not going to have to force it. We are in those moments, y'all. There's no more saving people. You are your leader first. You are your everything first. And that's simply because of relying on source, going inward. You are giving the vision. You are giving the blueprint. There's going to be so many things happening that's beyond our control. You know what I'm saying? I see it and I'm aware of it every day when I'm sitting here, and I'm like, man, some of you, like I have a bag of certain stuff just ready. And it's not simply because of fear of like foundation. No, it's simply because in these moments, you never know. You never know what could happen. Life can change just like that. And we've been seeing it. Death has been a theme because of astrologically or cosmically, so above, so below. There is a new way of being. As we acknowledge these things within us, and we choose not to conform, or choose not to do things from a fearful place rather than love, that shatters the illusion. That shatters the illusion for mama, grandmother, father, uncle, anybody else. That shatters their illusion. And through that, you're planting seeds with them. You're also planting seeds for the future generation, because you, me, we chose to live in truth. And sometimes it may take that parting, that departure, for some people to get it. And sometimes some people will simply, people are going to be left behind. This is just what it is. This is how it is. Do you trust and know that you will be divinely guided and protected? Because I'm seeing it. It took so much. I'm learning to honor the art of detachment, because I'm seeing the fact that no longer holding on to the pain of what a mother shown me, but through the coming of when a man is given a princess or a daughter, I had to see how Big Mama was showing me, like, I want you to see the greatness that's going to come from the beauty of your princess being here. Because no matter what happens between you, this person, your partner, whomever else, Are you willing to set forth a foundation, not only for you, but for her? And then she is a princess. And then whatever kids you have after her, are you willing to set forth a foundation upon truth and love? Love being that I love you infinitely. I love you beyond this flesh. How many say that to your kids? Because guess what? That's all they know. See, once we acknowledge and see the pattern and see the things that our family and people have been continuing, that's what the healing journey awakened us to. That shadow work, that facing, you see that big ass shadow? That shadow, I can acknowledge that now. That doesn't flee from me. That is a part of me. That darkness is a part of me. To where I'm illuminating and can express to you now that I'm secure. I can rise above that. I can honor that. So I can see the beauty in how what has happened in the darkness, what I acknowledge when I had to sit with those things that mother, father, or these other people refused to do. No, I was the one to sit with that, because the becoming of a father or a mother, everybody's not going to get this. Some of you are, how could I say, selected or anointed to create that change. You think change just comes through doing the same shit? No, change comes with altercations, in the sense of change comes with chaos. Look at nature. Change comes with a shift in the environment. Are you willing to go through that but know that you are divinely protected? That's one thing I had to realize through my journey, is that I realized like a lot of people didn't know love because they didn't know love within themselves. So once I start to honor the healing and knew the love within myself, I start to no longer hate those things that hated me when I realized they hated themselves. I started to love the beauty of who I am. I started to love the women that I came from. I started to love that image of what the world wanted to teach me to hate. I started to realize why I did certain things, or why was it a part of my journey to meet this person, connect with this person, to heal that aspect of my family lineage, or to heal that aspect of what some may see as, heal that hatred that has been carried through lineage due to the fact of what has happened from the patriarchal aspect and the matriarchal aspect. I had to see my role, because I represent the patriarchal as a father. Also, the women in my family, they represent the matriarchal. So I had to acknowledge the feminine aspect, which I was reminded through the pain, through the darkness, which gives birth to the masculine. I had to learn the imbalances. I had to return to the root. First with the mother, my mother, seeing that what she was battling with, how I had to be the one to have learned to, instead of pointing the finger at what I feel she was doing so wrongly to me, but really it was so much of what she didn't acknowledge, the shadow, the demons she was fighting within herself, or the things that her own spiritual warfare. So it was times I had to stand up, not as the naive and, no longer you get to a place consciously. And this is why upon your journey, you will get to a place where you start to become aware, where you will get the insight, where Big Mama or Source, the Creator will show you like, hey, now I'm going to get you more in tune to realize like what this has been happening, that shit is not okay. Because it's easily, when you don't say nothing or when you don't do something, it's easy for that to continue. Then a lot of us get to a certain age where we're like, no more. And once you say no and you set boundaries, that spirit goes elsewhere. You break that generational curse. That spirit has to flee, whatever it is. And when you stand in that, it has to go somewhere. You have to banish that shit. Then you'll realize, as I began to, when I had to stay in a hotel and I had to go through this experience with the mother that I came through, I realized that me standing in my masculinity, me honoring that, me mentally realizing that hold on. This shit I learned, and this shit I came here to heal. So me coming from her womb, realizing like, wow, this is a mother that I'm like, whoa, she needs to heal herself. I know what it is to be with myself. She has to do that as well. Because a lot of us get to that place, we are vibrating at a higher frequency. We came in with knowledge and wisdom to share, to help guide people. Whether they use it or not, it's their choice. So by us being removed, boom, generational curse broken. No longer can people you see that darkness, no longer people can pull you back into to their shit. Not when you stand in your power, because you learn what it is to face your shadow, to honor your emotions, to not be defeated. Now, those same people have to sit with their shit, their own traumas, the part that they played, the role that they're playing. Now you're able to see, like, wow, that manipulation can't work no more. That tactic can't work no more. A lot of what you were doing, I see you learned or was passed down through you from whatever you experienced with your mother, grandmother, and or father. And see, then you begin to put the fucking puzzle pieces together. Then you begin to, oh shit, now I see why you don't have a connection with your father. Therefore, you're seeking this validation through these men. Then that trickles down to me, and I'm like, wow, hold on, I'm a masculine version of my mother. So now I have to realize, like, I was continuing that cycle through women, being that she didn't acknowledge what she needed to do to heal herself, her womb. So me reflecting that back through her, that came with confrontation. Hold up, lady. I came through you, I didn't come from you. Meaning that connecting to my inner self, I realized I came from a greater source. I came from something greater than just me coming through you. That came from something more powerful when I look at creation. From something so little that came from you and my father came together to help create me. I'm trying to show you the bigger picture. From something that, boom, y'all met, did what y'all did, whoop de whoop, bam, bam, I'm here. I had to do the same thing with my father, stand up and tell him, like, look, y'all know it can't be no more conversations where you calling me to do this and do that, or go do this and go do that. No, I'm here to do something differently. I'm going to stick to my creations. I was given a gift to stand in my power. I was given a gift of artistry. It ain't just drawing. I was given a gift to, as I acknowledge the shit that's happening in this family, I am unlocking other things within myself. And this is how the creator source will guide you to these things. You're being guided to these people to see how they abuse and use money as a survival tactic, only for you to learn to reverse that, to see how it's not about money. It's not just, money isn't everything. Because you see how they use their pattern for their own egotistic and selfish ways, rather than seeing the beauty in how family itself is true wealth, how love itself, from my perception, is how you see it from a holistic way. how can what I use or what can my gift be used for the betterment of all and to the harm of none? Because they've been using it to harm only through the survival and what they've been programming and conditioning, through the spells that they've been under, to use it where they're thinking like, or I'm only going to give you this. And y'all keep thinking like these systems are not corrupted. Child support, all these governmental things to keep people in this loop. Have I once said, no, it wasn't it's all a part of divine order. But when it falls apart and it's crumbling, in which a lot of people don't want to acknowledge, they want to throw the rock and hide their fucking hand. No. If we're creating a new narrative, why would I sit here and pretend like, let me keep just thinking like I got to be a part of this? No, I do not. And so then that's what it begins to, you see people tell on, it's not, I would say tell on themselves, but they're going to reveal their fucking hand. They can no longer keep these secrets hidden no more. Once we start to face that shit, they can't keep it hidden no more. You just learn to move different. And so this is what I start to realize again, how I tell people, go back and to look at the patterns. If your grandmother is present or elder, look at their patterns. They're living in a whole nother world, a whole nother dimension. Generations after are more advanced for a fucking reason. Like, for real. They want you to think that these kids in these neighborhoods and the hoods, they are the divine beings. They are the advanced beings. I was sitting here watching this. I was like, whoa, what the fuck? Like, y'all really think it's for these kids to sit back and just do the same thing that these other kids? That shit's gonna drive them up a wall. That would drive me up a wall to sit here and think like, we're not like that. Let's just be honest. Now I see why when I look at energetically or a lot of stuff I consume, kids, we're like sponges in a way. They soak up so much, and then yet we what you're seeing now in the world is that we crucify, or we crucify people for fucking being authentic, for expressing themselves. Do you know what it is to go through the fact of, like I was expressing to someone, a lot of people aren't going to believe shit you say or anything that you do, because which is changing now because it's more spiritual than anything now. And this is a part of the awareness that we're coming into, is that this is why the spells and so many things are being broken, and illusion and the veil is thin, is because things are speeding up. The vibration is rising. And this is just what it is. And so things are illuminating. And we're becoming more powerful. I'm knowing this. I'm seeing this. And so things that can no longer hide are being, they can't hide no more. Just people cannot hide who they are no more. That's why I love these things. And so this is like, now I see the fucking beauty in all of this. Is like, yo, reflect so much on your past, and you will realize, an elder said this, Bobby Hemmett, I believe. He mentioned like how your past is your future. And I was like, how is that? How is so? And when I reflect on my past in a way, like from the pain perspective, I look at how the future is going to be gained through the similarities or the connection to what I experienced, being that the essence of who I truly are spiritually was still there from the womb of my mother, from the womb that I came through. Yet I realized through and how, from elementary to all these things, these, through the corruption, and how my spiritual warfare, how much I was being protected, knowing that you and I, those who resonate with this, are knowing that you are going to bring forth something that it's unfamiliar, never seen, from the unseen to the seen, from the spiritual to the physical, that is not so much concerned with money or material things. Because it's something within us that, having, you know, possibly like being here or past life things or things that, you know, connects us to source, is so for the betterment of all, in a sense. And like I said, just so many things I realized, like a lot of us was already connected to high vibrational shit, or, you know, and this is why it's so important for kids. This is why it's so important for the focus is so much on kids. I'm seeing it. I even see the spiritual warfare my nephew go through. Family and friends, you will see so much of why it is for you to stay in the high vibration, or do what you love, or be, you know, resonate with what you love. And see how much, then it'll show you how much people are disconnected from source, disconnected from self, because they're doing what it is to fit in. And it's like a fucking puzzle piece that don't even fit into the puzzle, but yet they're still trying to force the shit. Can you wrap your mind around that? You're trying to be a part of what they call the America Corona. You're trying to be a part of something that your ass wasn't sent here to be a part of. Some people are here to observe. Some people are here to create the chaos, to rebel purposefully. And some people are here to watch. You know, I say observe, but some people are here to observe, create the chaos, and some people are here to usher in the building of what's the newness. That's divine order. Ain't no stopping that shit. Because if you look around, you will see the people that are consumed, or a part of which help you, the art of detachment, is how we learn how to just be like, get my popcorn. Were we always here? No. But what I've noticed is that there are electric few that are part of the solution. And the truth is that at one point, you can learn to see yourself as the solution, like the solution of your life. Because I had to learn this, and that's why I'm learning to see the fucking beauty in this, man. I had to, through all the tears, through all the releasing, honoring my emotions, seeing the men in my family that do not honor their emotions, and seeing now the emotional intelligence in that, honoring, seeing that in my nephew, seeing the anger, and, you know, seeing the women, you know, you look at your family, you're seeing that your whole life. Especially, this is why our women are so powerful, because everything begins with source, you know, Big Mama, and how the role, we're healing so much, man, as men and women. We're healing so much, yo. I can't begin to describe. Because if you only been seen as a fucking problem in a world that has portrayed you to be the problem, oh, you're no good for nothing. Yes, the fuck you are. You're here. Watch how the tables have already turned. Because you're going to need us. And they know it. Whoever's watching, whoever's be guided to this video. As much as you were the problem, being the problem is the pain that was caused. Just imagine your mother had to go through the birthing pains. But now, the gain that you're going to experience from that, the solution. As much as you were the pain, the problem, look at the problem, and then equals what? The solution. You equal the solution. You're the solution to this shit. Some of us are the solution. No matter how much they can paint us to be the problem, you're the solution in your story. You're the solution. I'm seeing it right now play out right before a lot of people's eyes. Because knowing that you did the shadow work, knowing that you face things, I'm seeing how people haven't faced themselves, haven't looked in the mirror, haven't honored their emotions, haven't honored, seeing them go through survival. This isn't the point to make it seem like they're horrible. No, they're amazing. I had to learn to look through a lens where I saw the mother that I came through as an amazing being. And truthfully, that's what she is. As much as the world wanted to portray when you see these fucking platforms of everything that's dark, being everything that you see when you see the media, love and hip hop, all this bullshit on here as if they just only good for laying down, having babies, treating men like me or whatever as if they're the cause of all of this. Yet, putting these same women, teaching to put their emotions and crucifying them right in front of the fucking world as if they're no good for nothing. But do you fucking know that they're the origins of everything? And you denying their pain is denying the world, this whole creation, and their sons, me, and the other ones out here denying. That's also denying and putting their emotions and everything's on the back burner. And now that we stand up, now that we want to speak our truth, now that we want to be acknowledged in the sense of a healthy way. Now we want our emotions or, who we are be acknowledged without money. You gonna feel us, because we here. We don't need to ask anymore. We shall rise. This is the Phoenix. Nothing can stop this. Nothing or no one. Because I know what's backing me. I know what's with me and who surrounded me. I know who came before me. I know this. They can call you everything but a child of the Most High, but yet and still, weapons may form, but none shall prosper. But it amazes me. Yes, you had to go through these things. But the bigger picture to all of this is what? One in all and all in one. I too had to see what I experienced with the women that I wanted to hate the most because of what I blame the Creator for what I had to experience the most with these women that look like me. Why did I have to be called or to be experienced embarrassment? And it was only preparing me to realize that they were only hurting. And I still was a son. I had to go within. I had to realize the power of why that it was bigger than me to see that their pain, to feel what they were experiencing. Because my pain was their pain. And no matter what, they still loved me through it. My grandmother still loved me through it. No matter what her experiences were with other men, I too had to see and have a place of compassion to realize like I was the one to reflect back to her, to acknowledge my shadow and shit, to acknowledge my own shit, to realize like I'm a healed man. I may be the first healed man that you ever seen. But I'm a healed man, and you get to see that in your lifetime. And some of us are that for our grandmothers and mothers. Some of us are that. Some of us, we are that this lifetime. That's what y'all need to really fucking see. Some of us are that masculinity that has been the world has tried to emasculate since birth. Now we are the ones that are rising up. The divine warriors that are protected by something greater than this physical shit that you see. We don't need the money and certain shit to show what divine masculinity is. We don't need that shit, because it's gonna come. We're gonna be protected by Big Mama, because we honor, we had to see and experience the pain and see where the root of the pain came from. Because we realized that these women didn't know love. We were sent on this mission to remind them of that in this vessel. And we don't fear death. We don't fear that shit. For what? For every birth that comes is a cycle of life. So there will be greater that comes after me. There will be greater that comes after you. You are the holistic, healed version. And through that, you may be the one that may have to live this life with yourself, only to attract others like you. There are others like you out there, young kings, young men and women, beings that know that your weirdness, whatever it is in the sense of that is expressed through love, you are a reflection of the Most High. You are a reflection of Source. You are a reflection of divine love. These connections, these unions are a reflection of that which you came into union with yourself. This is why you had to be in these fucking places where you had to feel the pain. You had to feel those things that your mother and grandmother were afraid to express due to the traumatic conditions and programmings and spells that they've been under for lifetimes. And you came to break that shit. You came to change that shit through fearlessness, through being fearless. And that's what being in a vibration of love and truth, like, you gotta honor that shit, man, because you're going to illuminate that. Are you surprised that they come against you, but you know they can't harm you? And that which they've spoken and speak on you returns to them tenfold. But in a sense, you still stand in love. You still stand in your truth. And as much as they that may not acknowledge it, this lifetime or whatever, you stay focused. You stay 10 the fuck toes down. And those toes are represented by the roots, which you are the tree now that bears good fruit. Think about the shit. If our family and lineage has been in a loop and none of these spells are bullshit, that's rotten fruit. Brethren, sisterin, that's fucking rotten fruit. A lot of which is given and in a book. It's in your fucking DNA. This is what they fear. Because no longer you can bring people or approach us with fucking fear of guns and, you know, trying to emasculate us or using money. Yeah, you can use that with other people that live in that low vibrational shit. But that paradigm is done. We're raising up holistic people that know that they don't need to fear death. This is what's coming. This is what's here. We've never been alone. Your presence is felt without a word. Even when you speak, we speak to the nations. And this shall be felt through all the nations in the world. In Onkai while we're here. Our presence is felt. We are here. We're not a... Time is up. Some of us are in these neighborhoods and places for a reason, for divine protection. Your light is needed. Your love is needed. And no matter how, as long as you stand in your truth and be who you are in these moments, they can come with thousands. They can come with the army. They can come whatever. But once you're secure in spirit, so above as below, so above, so below, as above, so below, as within, so without, we know we are protected by something greater. People won't be, ain't no more tricking people out of their position. Folks have chosen their side. You stay there. These are the same ones, again, as Spirit revealed to me. They're falling from grace. Don't be surprised. Stay focused. Stay in tune. Peace. Shalom.